What's up, guys, and welcome to MMA Insider, where we talk about anything and everything related to MMA. For our latest story, let's look at Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz was there at the recently ended trilogy battle between Gennady Golovkin and Canelo Alvarez at Las Vegas' T-Mobile Arena. After successfully completing his UFC contract, the Stockton native will explore the seas of free agency. When a photo of Diaz beside Triple H and Stephanie McMahon appeared on the internet, combat sports enthusiasts let their imaginations go wild. People on social media put on their thinking caps and speculated about Nate Diaz's possible transfer to WWE. Because of his rebellious personality, the Junior Diaz brother is an ideal anti-hero. Nate Diaz is free! At UFC 279, the Stockton Slugger joyously fought the final bout of his UFC contract with a submission victory against Tony Ferguson. Henry Cejudo, former dual-weight champion, revealed that he spoke with the superstar over the weekend and discussed a possible switch to WWE. During their talk, Cejudo stated that Diaz expressed interest in entering into pro wrestling. It's worth mentioning that the latter was photographed alongside WWE executive Triple H last Saturday at Canelo Alvarez vs. Gennady Golovkin 3. WWE has featured combat sports stars in prior matches. Ronda Rousey, Tyson Fury, and Logan Paul all have made the switch to the squared circle. Henry Cejudo stated, "I saw him in the restroom. He was high as a kite, and so was I. And we looked at each other. He's hilarious. Anyway, he's looking to dabble into WWE to make money. We gotta use the brand that the UFC has given you and all these other platforms and continue to make money as an entrepreneur." But wait, WWE isn't the only place where we could see Diaz. We could see him in the boxing ring. Following his victory, Diaz seized the microphone and discussed his future plans with Joe Rogan in his post-fight interview. Diaz mentioned a possible transition to boxing as one of several choices he would like to pursue in the future. The Stockton native was the main event at UFC 279. Diaz was originally scheduled to meet unbeaten star Khamzat Chimaev in the main event. However, when Chimaev failed to make weight, Tony Ferguson was promoted to the main event. In the main event, the departing star submitted El Kukui in the 4th round. Diaz made it clear that this was his final bout on his contract. Following the fight, the welterweight champion hinted that he would return to the boxing ring to challenge Jake Paul. Nate Diaz has announced that Jake Paul may be his next opponent as he prepares to make his pro boxing debut. The former UFC champion claimed that he had wanted to enter the boxing profession for over 15 years. However, boxing was an option that he could only explore after leaving the UFC. Diaz told Boxing Social, "Jake Paul is a possibility. The best named boxers here are a possibility. Anybody who wants to fight, unless you're in the toppest tier, don't even play with me. I'm ready to box anybody. I was stuck in the cage. I would have been boxing the whole time, and if I wasn't getting kicked on the leg, my boxing would look a lot more crisp anyway. So whatever people think they saw about me, they don't even have a clue about." Jake Paul seldom praises his possible opponents. The problem child, on the other hand, didn't seem to mind giving Nate Diaz some attention following the latter's submission victory over Tony Ferguson in the main event of UFC 279. Paul came to Twitter shortly after the fight to congratulate Diaz. He also used the chance to hint at a possible showdown with him. Outside of a boxing contest against Jake Paul, Diaz may face Conor McGregor in a trilogy. Since McGregor's rematch at UFC 202, talk of a third bout between the two has been constant, and McGregor even publicly stated that a third fight will take place at some time. With Diaz out of his UFC contract and McGregor towards the end of his current one, many have theorized that a third bout outside the UFC would allow both men to pocket the majority of the revenues. However, Bisping feels that McGregor is likely to re-sign with the UFC, which means that once he's through boxing, Diaz will likely return to the company as well. Bisping said this on his YouTube channel, "I thought he gave a great speech. I thought Joe Rogan handled the interview very, very well. He's talking about boxing, he's talking about jiu-jitsu. The reality is, Diaz is a global superstar, an absolute sensation, and he's a very skilled mixed martial artist. So he can compete in jiu-jitsu, he can compete in kickboxing, not wrestling, but you might even see him doing bare knuckle boxing. You never know. Diaz is a draw, Jake Paul is a draw. That fight would get a lot of buzz, but that would be one fight. Diaz is 37 years old. His window of opportunity is closing all the time. So what? Maybe one big fight with Jake Paul." What do you guys think? Which fight do you guys want to see? Comment your thoughts below and don't forget to like and subscribe to help the channel grow.